30,000 men stand in the gathering gloom of an October evening, their armor catching the dying light of a sun setting on a unified England. Across the narrow Teme River, a smaller force of 8,000 rebels waits behind ditches and barricades, their cannons cold. As the moon rises over the stone arches of Ludford Bridge, a single choice made in the shadows does what an entire army could not. By dawn, the fields will be empty, the banners abandoned. One decision, one night, changes history. This is the story of an impossible collapse, where the fate of a kingdom turns not on a clash of steel, but on a whisper of betrayal in the dead of night. It is the moment the Wars of the Roses transforms from a struggle for reform into a desperate race for the crown. The iron-shod wheels of the Lancastrian baggage train grind against the mud as King Henry VI moves his host toward the gates of Ludlow. For the rebels, the sight is absolutely devastating. They had been told they were fighting a corrupt council, but the reality flying across the water is far more terrifying. The royal standard, the golden lilies and lions of England, snaps in the breeze, marking the presence of an anointed sovereign. King Henry, pious, fragile, but the ultimate symbol of divine authority, is here in his white plate armor. Behind the Yorkist barricades, the archers and billmen exchange nervous glances. To strike at a king is a mortal sin that no pardon can wash away. Among the Yorkist ranks, only the 600 veterans of the Calais garrison remain steady. These are not local levies, they are the professional heart of the rebellion, hardened by years of service in France. They move with a synchronization that speaks of long campaigns and brutal discipline. At their head stands Sir Andrew Trollope, the master porter of Calais, a career soldier who rose from a family of Durham dyers to become one of the most respected tactical minds of the age. He is a man of the gate and the wall, a pragmatist who views the battlefield through the cold lens of professional survival. For years, Trollope has served the Earl of Warwick the Kingmaker, but as he stares across the river at the royal standard, the legal weight of his oath to the crown begins to collide with his loyalty. He has helped construct a formidable trap, a deep defensive ditch, a barricade of heavy carts, and a battery of artillery positioned to sweep the bridge. Yet he knows the math of the battlefield better than any man present. Outnumbered 3-1 and facing the physical manifestation of the king's legitimacy, the Yorkist position is a fortress built on sand. The night of October 12th is thick with the smell of wood smoke and the nervous stamping of horses. Within the Yorkist camp, the air is brittle. The king has issued a final offer of mercy to any man who returns to his side, but the Earl of Salisbury is pointedly excluded. His life is already forfeit for the blood spilled at Blore Heath weeks prior. This selective mercy is a masterstroke of psychological warfare designed to drive a wedge between the rebel leaders and their men. In the darkness, Andrew Trollope makes his move. It is an orderly, silent transition. 600 elite professionals, the soul of the Yorkist military strength, slip away from their posts and cross the lines to the royal camp. They do not come as empty-handed deserters or desperate beggars. Trollope brings the intelligence leak that will seal the fate of his former masters. He reveals the exact layout of the ditches, the weak points in the cart barricades, and the specific timing of the planned Yorkist maneuvers for the morning. When news of the defection reaches the Duke of York, it hits like a tidal wave. The backbone of his army is gone. The professionals have judged the cause lost, and the rank-and-file soldiers begin to melt away into the shadows. In a frantic midnight council within the stone walls of Ludlow, the Yorkist leaders realize they stand on the edge of an abyss. Surrender means the axe, stay means a slaughter. With a final cynical act of deception, they inform their troops they are merely retreating into the town to rest, leaving their personal banners flying over the empty camp to fool the Lancastrian scouts. Then, under the cover of the blackest hour of night, they split to find safety across the sea. Richard of York and his son Edmund flee through the rugged terrain of Wales toward the Irish Sea, breaking bridges behind them to slow the chase. Meanwhile, Warwick, Salisbury, and the young Edward, Earl of March, make a desperate dash for the coast of Devon. Dawn breaks over the Teme River, cold and unforgiving. The Yorkist soldiers wake to a camp that has become a ghost town. The command tents are empty. The banners of their lords hang limp and meaningless. There is no battle, only the collective sob of an army surrendering its soul to the king. Faced with the overwhelming sight of the royal host beginning its advance, the leaderless thousands throw down their weapons and fall to their knees in the mud. Henry VI, in a show of royal grace, pardons the commoners. But for the town of Ludlow, there is no such mercy. The victorious Lancastrians, fueled by adrenaline and bloodless victory, are unleashed upon the Duke of York's seat. Contemporary chronicles describe a scene of calculated chaos. The soldiers broach the wine casks in the taverns, smiting out the heads of the pipes until the streets run wet-shod in wine. The wealth of the town is systematically stripped. Bedding, cloth, and silver are carted away as trophies of a war that was never fought. Houses are ransacked, and the common folk pay the price for the ambitions of their lords. The stink of spilled wine and fear fills the morning air. At the Ludlow Market Cross, a haunting tableau remains. Cecily Neville, the Duchess of York, stands with her two youngest sons, George and Richard. Abandoned by her husband to the mercy of his enemies, she faces the howling mob of the Lancastrian army with the poise of her high birth, becoming a captive in the very town she once ruled. The non-Battle of Ludford Bridge has achieved what years of politics could not. It has physically erased the Yorkist presence from England. The final act of the rout is performed not in the mud, but in the chapter house of the Benedictine Priory in Coventry. In November 1459, Queen Margaret summons what history remembers as the Parliament of Devils. It is an assembly purged of opposition, a legal tribunal designed to finish what Trollope's betrayal started. They wield the ultimate weapon of the medieval state, the Act of Attainder. This is more than a death sentence, it is a permanent erasure of an entire lineage. With a stroke of a quill, the Yorkist lords are declared traitors, their lands are confiscated, and their blood is corrupted, meaning their children can never inherit titles or property. They are wiped from the social fabric. But in this moment of total Lancastrian triumph, the seeds of destruction are sown. By leaving the Yorkist lords with nothing to lose, no land, no titles, and no legal path to reconciliation, the regime has radicalized its enemies. The struggle is now a fight to the death. The Duke of York, safe in Ireland, and Warwick, holding the fortress of Calais, begin to plot a return that will be written in blood. History teaches us that a victory won through betrayal often carries a hidden cost. As the Lancastrians celebrate in Coventry, the Kingmaker is already looking across the channel, waiting for the wind to change. If Ludford Bridge was a bloodless rout, the battles that followed would be a deluge of violence that redefined the English crown forever. The betrayal of the Calais veterans didn't just break an army, it shattered the old rules of the game. When the Yorkists return a year later, they will not come with letters and oaths of loyalty. They will come with fire and the conviction that only one house can remain standing. The bridge at Ludford remains, but the bridge between two families has been burned to ash. Andrew Trollope, now a Knight of the Red Rose, will find his own fate soon. He will fall in the freezing snows of Yorkshire, a casualty of the very escalation he helped trigger. The Duchess Cecily will see her sons become kings, but only after walking through a valley of corpses that started here, in the mud of Ludlow. The legacy of a non-battle is often longer than a bloody one, and the silence of the Teme River that night echoed for decades. The stones of the bridge still witness the night, an army simply vanished away. We remember the names of the kings and the dukes, but it was the professional soldier in the shadows, choosing a pardon over a captain who changed the destiny of the throne. The Wars of the Roses was not just won on the field, but in the hearts of those who knew when to stay and exactly when to run. It is a story of how easily legitimacy can be dissolved when the professional core of a nation decides the price of loyalty is too high. From the halls of Coventry to the market square of Ludlow, the shockwaves of this standoff redefined the 15th century. It transformed a political dispute into a dynastic war that would only end with the rise of the Tudors. Ludford Bridge stands today as a quiet reminder of the power of a single night, a single decision, and the enduring weight of an anointed king's standard. The rebellion was over, but the true war for the crown had only just begun. History is full of these incredible turning points where a single act of betrayal changes everything. If you want to witness the moment this legal war turns into the bloodiest battle ever fought on English soil, subscribe and join us for the reckoning at Towton. Let us know in the comments, was Trollope a traitor or the only man who saw the truth? Hit the like button to help us keep these stories alive, and thanks for watching this journey into the past.